Hello, TikTok students. How is everyone doing today? Right, I thought I couldn't go live if I didn't have a certain amount of followers, but I'm just giving it a go. I'm going to give it a go. So this is my first official live, so please be kind. And yeah, just comment, let me know if this is helping you with these lives, because this is the first live that I'm doing. I know it's the October half term, and I thought, you know what, I wanted to go live for weeks, but then I thought, okay, let's start the lives in the half term. So because I understand, as an English tutor, online English tutor, I understand that, you've got your mock exams coming up for English language and literature. And, and that's going to whiz by very, very quickly. And it's the earliest the mock exams are in November. But if they are another time, please let me know if you have your mock exams another time. And yeah, so we are looking at today, I thought, I've been looking at a lot of English language paper 1 question 5 for the for the fictional text, and just doing creative writing. But I thought, let me look at English language paper 1 question, English language paper 2 question 5. And this is the non-fiction writing, which is really, really, really hard. I find, I don't know about you guys, comment down below, which one do you find harder? Do you find English language paper 1 harder or English language paper 2 harder? So comment down below and let me know. Maybe before I start, I might as well just say a few things about myself. So I'm an online writing tutor for English literature and language from year 7 up to GCSE level, also A-level 2, as you know, with my recent post, I've talked about the A-level equivalent that people have to do if they want to stay in the UK and they're new to the UK and they want to, work or study in the UK. You need to get an A-level equivalent now. So let me know what you think about that. But anywho, right, let's get started with this. Okay, so this is a piece of writing that I did with my student, and we were looking at English language paper 1 question 2. I kind of wanted to show you an example of when you're doing your writing practice, you need to really look at the skills that you're using. The main thing with all of these questions that you're doing for the GCSE English, is the main thing, are you hitting those assessment criteria? Are you meeting the assessment criteria? And if you don't know what the assessment criteria is, it's just the success criteria that you usually get in class. Like if you have to do a piece of writing, these are the main skills that you need to use, okay? And we need to understand that, and we need to know what skills we are using, okay? So with English language paper 2 question 5, they will always tell you you need to write either a leaflet, you need to write a speech, you need to write a letter. It's usually one of those 3 that they would usually go to. So this one is write a leaflet, okay? So write a leaflet to advertise a newly opened theme park intended to appeal to thrill seekers of any age. Now, you might have done this in class already. So this is what I did with my student in particular, okay? So they got a nice little title, prepared to be hooked, okay? And then I want to show you what skills they used and how to structure it, because I thought this was a great example. So the first of these started, so we've labelled all the techniques. So you've got the writer's techniques, you've got ambitious vocabulary, you've got the anecdotes that they're going to use, okay, and sentence openers, okay? And these are one of few skills that they should add when it comes to their non-fiction writing for English Language Paper 2, question 5, okay? Right, so the first off, they started with a rhetorical question. Now, with non-fiction writing, that is a great go-to to start off with a rhetorical question. Are you bored of playing hook a duck and find the spinning teacups tedious? Yeah, so that's a really good way to start it, because you're drawing the reader in, you're drawing them into your story and into what you're writing about, so they will continue to read more, okay? You want them to read more, you want them to engage them from the very beginning, okay? And I would say this type of technique, you need to think about that it has to be engaging, whether it's for your non-fiction writing or whether it's for your fictional writing, for the creative writing, English Language Paper 1, question 5, okay? And then he continues, do you need a ride with excitement, speed, and even a touch of terror? So another rhetorical question there. Doesn't require an answer. You're just drawing them in. You're drawing them into what you're talking about, okay? And as I said, this is a leaflet. So this is very like you're advertising it. So if we go back to what they want you to do, so if you lose sight in the exam, like, oh my gosh, what do I need to do again? You just say, write a leaflet. So a leaflet, okay, that's key, okay, to advertise. You're advertising a newly opened theme park, intended to appeal to thrill seekers. So you're appealing to thrill seekers of any age. So we would say any age, families, okay? You could be targeting families, okay? And I would kind of stick to one group, so you're really, really focused. You could say families or couples, but I say families, okay? Right, and as we go through it, let's look at, okay, ambitious vocabulary. Now, ambitious vocabulary, everyone's vocabulary is at a different stage, but we're talking about words that you do not use on a daily basis, okay? Words that you tend to not use often. So, then Insanity Island, insanity, okay? So we tend to not use insanity. We might say insane, but we don't say insanity. So that is quite ambitious, isn't it? And also, notice another technique that he used, which obviously is just something that I'm pointing out. Alliteration there, isn't it? Insanity Island. Might have been an accident, but hey, we can add that in. And then it says, then Insanity Island is definitely the place for you. Rides that plummet. Plummets, that's a good word. So you're not just saying it goes down. Yeah, you're not using simple basic language. You're saying plummet. That's a really good word to use. Faster than the speed of light. Faster than the speed of light. Does anyone know that technique there? Faster than the speed of light. When it comes to non-fiction writing, anyone gets that right, I give them a... What can I give on TikTok Live? Let me know if you know that one. Faster than the speed of light. Right. Rides that literally throw you. So there's a little bit of errors here. So we did identify the errors. Even from here, if you can see spelling, I think prepared to be hucked, prepared to be hacked. I think they meant hacked, yeah? And with spelling, obviously, if you are not aware, spelling is about 16 marks out of the 40 marks for this entire question. So 24 marks for your content and 16 marks for your spelling, punctuation and grammar. So that's quite a lot. Okay, so let's continue. So from this, we're just looking at this paragraph at the moment. And then when it comes to adrenaline junkie, okay, I would say, why did we put an A? I think adrenaline junkie, we said that was kind of an anecdote, but you could say that's exaggeration, I would say. I'm going to kind of change that. So exaggerated language, exaggeration, okay, which is really good to use for non-fiction writing, a lot of exaggerated language there, okay. And white knuckle rides that really will make your fingers turn white, okay? A lot of exaggerated language there. Right, and then it goes into detail about the actual ride, Insanity Island, okay? Or the theme park itself. And then using a more ambitious vocabulary like exquisite, okay? Defying, and then you've got some more writing techniques here. Insanity Island consists of over 1,000 death-defying rides. So, very exaggerated, and also using some facts there, or statistics, you would say. Consists of thousands. Okay, so statistics, that's what you do need to use also for your non-fiction writing. You need to add some statistics there. Okay. And then moving on, more terrifying. That's another very exaggerated word. And we want you. Okay, that's another writing technique called direct address. You're directing, you're speaking directly to the audience. Direct address. You definitely need to use that for like speeches. For all non-fiction writing, direct address is perfect. And direct address is perfect for leaflet and speeches especially. Okay. And then let's move on to this part. So they did like a little subtitle. So obviously it's broken down as a leaflet. And then, are you brave enough to rocket 20,000 feet into space? A lot of rhetorical questions. We had rhetorical questions in the beginning. I can't even say beginning. We had rhetorical questions in the beginning, and now we've got rhetorical questions throughout, especially for the subtitle, okay? And then using very nice language here, when it's listing here, for the writing techniques, triples. So something called triples, when you use 3 powerful adjectives, instructions, and it usually is a list of 3, or it's called triples, okay? And then it's dipping, twisting and turning. So it's quite a nice pace, because it's talking about a theme park. It has to be a really nice fast pace. Right, I'm actually going at a fast pace right now. So if you have any questions or whatever regarding with GCSE English in general, or just with this specifically, please leave your comments as well. I'm not too sure, because it's my first live. I'm not too sure if you can leave comments, but we will see. Thank you for everyone that's joined. I'll just pause a sec. Thank you for everyone that has joined so far. Sent TikTok University. Okay, lovely. This is a whole new world for me, to be honest with you. So thank you for people that have joined. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the live so far. And let me know your comments if you're liking it, if it's helping. Let me know, okay? And then it's So he's broken it down into, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. Now, to be honest with you, you would have to write a lot more, but this is just a little snippet. We was doing some writing practice for this particular question, and you have to write, if for this particular question, you'll have to write at least about 4 to 5 paragraphs, okay? And just be mindful of that. Okay, and then it says, do your friends think you're loopy for loving loops? So another rhetorical question. So throughout the entire thing, it's kind of guiding the reader when it comes to rhetorical questions and continuing to draw the reader in. I found this piece of work that my student did very engaging. So I think they did really well on this one. Okay, I think I got a message. I think I did. I feel like an old person when I'm on these TikTok lives. Right. Okay, guys. And then, the same thing. Writing techniques here. Little more than 2 minutes. Exaggerated language. Mind-blowing adventure. Travel. Okay. So really nice little ambitious vocabulary there. Continuing to use. And then he ends it with one more rhetorical question. Will you ride the elevator? And then it says, it just takes the reader on a journey. It gets the reader excited. If you're talking about theme parks, it has to be exciting. It can't be flat and it can't be boring, okay? So how my student ends it is, okay, here at Insanity Island, we want you to have the wildest experience of your life and promise. No bawling babies, no OAPs with mobility scooters. Okay, my student was trying to be smart there. You, the ride of your life. So what are you waiting for? Another rhetorical question to end it, okay? And so with this, I said families, but my student clearly said no bawling babies. So that might not necessarily go for families. It might actually go for couples, young couples. He might be targeting young couples because he made it so specific that no babies and no older people. Okay. So, so that is a great example of English Language Paper 2. Sorry, I've been doing Paper 1 with my students for the last couple of weeks. So English Language Paper 2, question 5 for the non-fiction writing. So remember that you either going to get a question that you're going to have to write either a leaflet, a speech, a letter. Those are the main ones. It could be a newspaper article sometimes. It's not as common, but it can be possible. And then what I did, I left some targets for my student to focus on. And we usually do, I don't know in your school if you do what went well or even better if. So I said what went well is the writing techniques and exaggerated language, okay, that they used. And then EBI, I said the content. So the sentence openers, try to vary them as too many start with imperative verbs. And then I did say they need to work on their spelling. Okay, they need to work on their spelling and their ambitious punctuation. Maybe adding like colons, semicolons, just making it a little bit, because it's slightly repetitive, as you can see, because they used a lot of rhetorical questions. Sometimes with the rhetorical questions, you can overuse them, or with a specific technique, it can be overused. I do think it's good in here that they use rhetorical questions because it draws the reader in, but it would have been nice if they varied it a little bit and used different ambitious punctuation, like exclamation marks, especially they're talking about, you know, a theme park. Exclamation marks would be great, etc., etc. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I will stay for questions. If you have any questions on what I talked about regarding with English Language Paper 2, question 5, or if there's any other questions about GCSE English, or even if you're not GCSE, if you're in year 7 up to, you've got a sibling in year 7 or lower, then I will stay for questions and then I will go. Okay. But yeah, okay, right. No questions today. It is my first live. So I would be so impressed if I had questions already. That would be great. Okay, who have I got here so far? So yeah, let me know if you have your mock exams coming up. I know the earliest for my students, they have mock exams in November. But I know some are in December or some are even after December. And also, if you require help, like one-to-one help for English literature and language, obviously get your parent to contact me, and all my details is in my bio, and you can book a free consultation with me on my website. I have got a few free consultations coming up during the half term to see if, trauma tuition is a great fit for you, and see if we can get started with helping you with your English literature and language. I'm also a drama teacher. I'm a drama tutor as well. So if you need help with the drama GCSE for the AQA paper, I look at other exam boards like EdExcel, YJEC, etc. But I do look heavily on AQA. Okay, right. It says I got 3 messages, but I can't see them. Right, I'm still working this out. So give me a big thumbs up. If you're not following me as of yet, follow me on my TikTok for more videos like this. And just thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you very much. Right, I think I'm going to go. I did my first TikTok live. Yay! But this was fun. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you want me to do anything in the future when it comes to TikTok lives, if it's like quizzes or whatever, I will experiment more during the October half term. But yeah, speak to you very soon. Bye. All right, how do I get